Hey guys, it is YS Beezito here, and today I'm going to be showing you a November budget value for money computer build. So let's get right into it. So kicking off the build, we have an AMD Ryzen 5 2400G clocked at 3.6 GHz. Now this is an awesome processor for the money, and as you can see it's about $248 or $250 New Zealand, and you'll be able to pick this part up pretty easily for a pretty low price. Now specifically for gaming, this CPU is pretty good value for money. It's similar to my 1500X that I've got in my build. This one, I'm not sure if it's overclockable, but I know it has an APU in it, so if you can't afford a graphics card, you can just use this guy for a while while you save up for a nice graphics card. Now the alternative to this is the 1400, and this one's alright. It's a little bit cheaper, honestly not that much, that's why I straight up went for this processor, as it's just more value for money. This one is only about, so they're about $20 off, or actually $19 off exactly. So honestly, you'd rather go spend the $20 more on this 2400G. Now the motherboard I've gone with is the Gigabyte GA-A320M. Now this is a micro ATX board, as this is a budget build and it's kind of hard to buy a full ATX board. That's why I've gone with the smaller one. Now unfortunately this guy only has 2 RAM slots, as you can see here, but has a PCI Express slot and all of the good stuff here. Alright, so as you can see here, it's actually got an NVMe port here, which is great if you need to put an SSD in there, which you can later on if you want to. And overall this is a good budget performing motherboard. It doesn't look too bad. It has all the correct I/O and everything like that on the side here, all USB 3.0, all your I/O here. So moving on to the memory, I've gone with the Corsair Vengeance LPX 8GB, which is actually 2 times 4GB, so 2 sticks, as RAM is really expensive right now, so it comes out about $134. Holy moly, that's actually a lot for the cheapest one. It goes up and up from there. RAM is just really expensive right now. It's probably not worth it to buy it brand new, but I've seen prices on TradeMe very similar, so it might not actually be worth it. That's why I've gone with this one though. It's a good performer. DDR4 2400 is pretty good, and this is a budget build in any case, so there's that. Now the next thing is the Western Digital Green 120GB SSD. So this is your main storage for your OS. Now unfortunately for this build I wasn't able to include a actual hard drive, because it'll go out of the price range, but if you wait for sales like on Black Friday coming up very soon, you can easily get a 1TB hard drive for about $50 from No Liming like last year, if they have that again, or you can get one off TradeMe for real cheap, or you can get a brand new one for about $80, but that just breaks the bank on the budget for this build. Now as again, people have told me in the past, why do this when you can get a nice hard drive and just go with that. Now again, an SSD is a necessity these days. It's just way too slow to be on a hard drive, even a 7200 RPM one. Honestly, just go with the SSD and upgrade your storage later. I was on an SSD on my laptop installing many games for a long time with an external storage as well. I had to manage myself very well on a SSD with 120 gig, but you should be fine. It's honestly not that hard. Now the next is the Asus GTX 1050 Ti 4GB. Now this one, since it's a micro ATX build, I've chosen a smaller graphics card with a single fan cooler. As you can see here, definitely not the most powerful 1050s, but I'm going to show you later where to get better deals honestly for graphics cards. This one's a little bit heavier price at $294. Now the next thing we have is the case. Now the case is just personal preference. I just went with the cheapest one I could find with a decent rating. Silverstone PS08B Black. It's a micro ATX mid tower, so it's a little bit small. It's not too small though, it's a mid tower case, but it has a micro ATX board slot there. Not much to say. Looks like a decent cooling, I guess. Okay, I/O. It has a window, I think. Looks like it. It's very similar to my case, not exactly though. And the last thing we have here is the power supply, the FSP Group Hexa Plus 500W ATX power supply. Now, I have no idea if this one's even rated. Let's see on the box here. Oh, it's not even bronze rated, so you gotta be a little bit careful. It should be fine. I have an FSP self power supply as well, Honestly, sometimes it's not good to skimp on this, but just for the budget, I'm just going to put this one in. You can go with better stuff, but honestly, it's not that hard if you want to burst the budget. Just a tiny bit to get more value for money, because sometimes these lower end parts are just not worth it due to the fact that you can get something better if you just save for a little bit longer and you're not fussy. So all out, that comes to about 938 New Zealand. Now that is a little bit steep for this type of build. Guess what, prices are very expensive in New Zealand. It's all overinflated. Honestly, even for bringing it from overseas, I'm just a little bit hesitant. I like to feel the part in my hand, as I don't really like shipping computer components. The only thing I would ship is a SSD probably. The rest is a little bit, it sketches me out with warranties and all that. And yeah, that brings the build to an end. Now I'm just going to show you some alternatives to bring the parts down a lot in price. So for the case, you can go here with a Cool Master Elite from TradeMe. Only $25 is really good. On all the stuff I'm going to show you in TradeMe, first you need to ask where they're located, if they can do a lower buy now, is the product fully functional and working, can I pick it up, how much is shipping, all the general stuff, is it working properly. You need to ask that. Even if it's in the description, you need to ask twice. There's no harm in asking. That's just the first case. There's some other cases I have here as well. This one actually got bought up by someone. They're going really cheap, as you can see. That's an auction one, but still you're probably gonna get for $10. No one's watching it except for me, maybe. But yeah, this is one for 45, an antec one, 100% better than the one I showed you here, probably, as it looks a lot better honestly from the photo. The next one we have is a power supply. Now this one sketches me out a little bit, but I'm gonna link it in any case, and it just could give you an example of how much of a deal you can get off TradeMe. As again, you have to ask questions. This one as well looks slightly used, doesn't look bad at all. It's a 580 watt cool power supply. Cooler Master GX2 550 watt, not a bad power supply. You just need to ask about shipping and all of that. And the next one is another power supply, as we can see here. I'm going to have all the stuff linked below if you need to. Graphics cards. So as you can see here, this is an RX 580. Now again, with graphics cards, now you need to ask a little bit different question. With graphics cards, you have to ask some different questions like, is this card been mined? Has it been overclocked? Stuff like that. Even for your CPU, RAM, even a monitor sometimes. But like, it's really important to ask if it's been mined with through Bitcoin or any of the other cryptocurrencies, because they could be really damaged like that. That's why they're going for cheap, or they could be just gone because the person doesn't want them, and that's what you need to find out. Next is a Gigabyte GTX 960 4GB, and as you can see here, honestly, 190. That's a really good deal. I'm not sure if it's been mined or not. I haven't checked the description. From the US, haven't overclocked, haven't mined with. Yeah, it's perfect. It's honestly not that bad. For a budget build, you can't complain. You just need to find the best bang for the budget. So it's not a bad idea. The 960 is very close to the 1050 Ti, and honestly, not a bad card at all. Now the next is a Gigabyte 1050 Ti. Exactly the one I have as well, 250. Not bad at all, because nowadays the Gigabyte 1050 Ti, the Gigabyte G1 gaming one, is actually ranging for far over $300, which is ridiculous. I picked mine up at $230, and I was lucky during a Black Friday sale last year, and I picked mine up. It's a really good card. Can easily play 1080 high on most games, and yeah, honestly a great card for the money. 200 if you want to do reserve. 7 people watching, I'd probably take the risk and try to win this one. This is the last one, the MSI GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. Now this one's a little bit more expensive, but if this one falls through, I'd go with this one. It's really cheap, not bad at all for money compared to this 1050 Ti here. See, this one's $294. That's crazy, isn't it? And these are better cards at dual fans, and you just need to check if they're gonna fit in your case. If you get the mid-tower one like I did here, it should be fine because there's a lot of space in here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the advice I have to give you for this build. I have a lot more builds coming up soon, as it's coming up to Christmas, and you guys need some computer builds for your sons or daughters or friends. So make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment, and make sure you share this video around, and check out my new website, ystech.ga. It might be changing domains to .org, so I'll update you guys on that. If it does, it will be on the video probably, and make sure to have an awesome day.